it's gonna be legit. So y'all bear with me. Happy New Year's. You know, I'm still fighting. So, but this time I'm coming with the cold hearted facts. So, thank y'all for watching. If y'all watching me on Facebook, thank you. If you watching me on YouTube, thank you. If you watching me on LinkedIn, thank you. If you watching me on Twitter, thank you. All these places, all my platforms get the business. All of it get in. None of it get out. You know, I'm it's 2021, still fighting an unjust situation can be tough on a person, you know. But one thing that I will be doing in this is I got a little surprise for Susan Tripp, Gail Ryder, and Douglas Hanson. We all going on 7 years of fighting this, me versus these people right here, right? And I'm a private citizen. I've been through hell with these people. You talk about slander and defamation of character. You talk about slavery. All those things is in this picture. Like, the more and more I think about it, I say to myself, dang, Matthew, how did you get this far? How did you stand up to these people with no help? Like, nobody seemed to want to help me, but I tell you, Douglas Hanson had a tremendous amount of help. He know that, I know that, these people know that. So in my treatment, right, I was a little kid. This is when I was a little kid. I got to give y'all a little small testimony before I really dive into what I'm about to explain here, because this situation is deeper than most of y'all know. You know, the levels of distrust that Douglas Hanson took these people through. And one thing that I do know about Susan Tripp and Gail Ryder is that they dealing with an angry alpha male who's posing as an alpha male, and he holds leverage over these two individuals. And not only that, he has a significant other who likes to violate people's HIPAA rights, being able to have full access throughout the Department of Justice. And I repeat this, not the Department of Community Justice, the Department of Justice, which is the main law firm for the state of Oregon. And the Attorney General, Ellen Rosenblum, leads that office. I will say, I will say to people that when you sit in high positions and high up places and you gang awards throughout your time of being a prosecutor who claim you prosecute countless cases, and you don't tell the truth about the illegal dealings behind the scenes, and how you manipulate grand jury proceedings and so forth, then it becomes a question to the people. You know, and I'm speaking for the people now, because the people need to hear this. And like I said, I'm gonna give a small little testimony about how all this came about, because I believe in God, right? But at the same time, I know that I'm a human being living in a world of sin, and each and every day I get up, I thank God for his blessings upon my life, and also my wife and my children, giving us the ability to fight as a family, to stay core, to stay sticking. And I admit, I'll be the first man to admit, through the mental part of dealing with these people, which I'm going to redo what's called the Bostad effect, R&D Bostad. I will later explain to you individual people who R&D Bostad is, and why this is very important, that I run this situation a bit different than how I was running it before. That's why I got that new fan page, and I'm looking for the right people to orchestrate this case and bring in a production, a team of people who's willing to do a real documentary, a real reenactment scenes, that just people who's really wanting to set the record straight and actually don't fight for justice just for yourself, but fight for the people that don't have a voice. Fight for the people that's voice has been snatched away and been buried somewhere. Where I've dealt with the Innocent Project, the Oregon Innocent Project, and I reached out to them as far as this go, and I've also reached out to all the courts of appeals and things. I'm trying to just keep myself sane with understanding that these people really do hate me. They have never one time given me a chance. They know fair and square that Matthew Johnson Jr. loved his wife. They knew all of that. They knew that I was never to harm or hurt my wife or my children, but the charges state that I've done that, and it's so contradicting. And so let's just get into what I call the Bostad effect. What I mean by the Bostad effect is you got to be able to come forth and you got to sit in a circle. You got to face your victim. And this is what's called putting on a victim impact letter. The victim is allowed to confront the assailant. And in my aspect, my assailant here is Douglas Hanson, Gail Ryder, and Susan Tripp, because these are powerful house peoples. And when I tell you about Douglas Hanson, you see what I said, void out Marion County corrupted district attorney Douglas Hanson. I put his bar number on there, all that. And I did this for a reason, because people really, really don't understand the amount of power this man gained over a 22-year span. And God put me on a mission to set the record straight. You see, they made Gail Ryder go into retirement when she really didn't have to. All she had to do was tell the truth. How she was forced to stay on my case, even though she didn't trust me. Even though she called me rude things. She called me niggers. She called me stupid. She called me dumb. She said I was an idiot. And I confronted her about that. She said this in front of my sister. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you said my sister's smarter than me because I don't want to take your deal. So the reason why I keep on saying Multnomah County Department of Community Justice is because Douglas Hanson found the low of the low, the second chancers is what I call them. Like, sometimes officer get written up, right? So that's what I was talking about, is the fact that when an officer get written up, they get second chances. They don't get fired because of whatever reason, because they all fall under, to me, the liability, the Corvell Corporation liability coverage. They all got liability coverage. So you can basically not fire them is what I'm saying. You can lay them off. You can give them you can demote them basically. And I was dealing with Paul Lively, right? Let's talk about Paul Lively real quick, because Paul Lively, before he became a probation officer, and this is something that Douglas Hanson know, because he's not just a typical prosecutor working out of the Marion County District Attorney's Office. He's also the chairman for the Attorney General's Task Force on Victims' Rights Noncompliance, right? So he makes sure that everything is going according, that the victims is getting their rights met, and that the victims actually, so when you file a complaint, it basically go through the complaint system, and if they're not doing their job, it then gets to the chairperson, which is Douglas Hanson. See, from the start, I already was dealing with the chairperson, a person that they claim no longer worked for the Marion County DA's office. And not only that, they also say that he's no longer on the Attorney General Task Force. But I remind people of this. I was in a meeting with Lou Frederick, which is a state legislator, and he's in our district, and he's supposed to hear about the violations. He tells me this. Well, county I can't do anything about, because I work for the state, the state and the county is two different things. You got the DA's office in the counties, and then you got the Department of Justice, where we approve state Senate bills. And I tell them about the state Senate bills 233, which is a victim bill, which Douglas Hanson clearly violated. And I played him videos, and he said no one from our office would have ever done anything like that, because Susan Tribb said, in order to make me this sex offender, someone, which is Douglas Hanson, had to have went somewhere to a legislator, got them to do some things. They put my name on the list, and so forth. So that's how this all starts, right? And we'll go through some of that, because I told Susan Tripp, here, let y'all hear it for yourself. I'm gonna run this one over here on this side, because I told Susan Tripp, Douglas Hanson is going after me because he think for some reason that I have it out for homosexuals, and that's never it. That's what he said. That's what he claimed. That was his reason for going after me. He gave me such harsh punishments that I don't even think that no one single individual could have just got out of it. Like, I'm trying to find that video. I'm trying to find the video. It's always happening. Because I know I've proved beyond reasonable doubt by taking polygraphs that I'm not a sex offender.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Hold on.
The sex offender registration rules
are by statute.
And that means that
Douglas Hanson
went to the legislature.
To
do some things, to put some things in a list, and the governor signed it, and there you go.
So basically, what Susan Tripp is telling me is that Douglas Hanson, because she didn't want to throw Douglas Hanson under the bus at all. She didn't want to just, because remind you, before she became a judge, Susan Tripp was an actual DA for the Marion County DA's office. So back in 97, when Douglas Hanson entered in as a prosecutor, she took him under her wings and she taught him the ropes. So they got a long history, a friendship history, or whatever. Whatever the situation is, I know for a fact that Susan Tripp and Douglas Hanson needed a middleman, which is Gail Ryder. And what we're going to do, I keep on calling it the Bostad effect. And what I mean by the Bostad effect is we reenact the situation. We confront the situation head on. If you don't want to believe me and you don't believe the paperwork plus the videos, then I don't know what to say to you. One thing that I do know for sure is that I'm being monitored, right? I'm being I'm in a situation where it's called digital stakeout. This don't just go for you, Arius Johnson. If they doing it to me, I'm just wondering how many other people has been followed in their life. How many people have to go through this? You know, Douglas Hanson, he takes advantage of people mental illness too, because if you paid attention over the years to Susan Tripp, she's got some mental health issues, not mental health problems. Like, you know, she got some health issues, not mental health. I'm sorry, Trip, I want to get this right, because when I looked in on her and she say she have a pre-existing condition on her public Facebook, and everything that I do is public. The same way that they publicly do me, I do the same things to them. When she said that, she had to take some time off probably because, you know, she's to me suffered from memory loss. She was asking questions. She was asking questions that she should have known as a trial judge. This is not her first trial, right? And the thing is, they trialed me, but they set me up by saying it was pre-trial motion hearings where they put on these motions. But what I found out later on is that since Gail Ryder, the middleman, never object to anything, none of that got preserved for me for my appeal. Cheating move, right? Hey, they cheated me like Trump claiming that they cheated the election. They cheated me. They cheated me out of my rights. They cheated me out of my pursuit to happiness. They decimated my character. They slandered me. And this is the thing. When you a smart individual like me, right, and you have the balls to stand up, and what my grandma said to me before she passed away is God gave you a voice. He gave you a voice to either be angry, happy. You can have this charisma about yourself. But the one thing that you got to know is that you don't speak up, nothing won't get done. If you stay silent, then they will continuously bury you, and you will be feeling like you picking cotton in a cotton field. And I said to myself, Grandma, what are you talking about? I ain't gonna pick no cotton. You keep on allowing these people to take you into their state custody, and you keep on going into their jails, and you will see what slavery is all about. My grandmother couldn't have never been so right. But in my mind, in my head, at that specific time, all that stuff starts to come back when you sitting in a cell for 22 wrongful days because the prosecutor has lied to the Marion County Sheriff's Office about me having a parole officer who was supposed to have came and sanctioned me to some time. And what I'm figuring out is that he created some type of paperwork to put an illegal hold on me because he never filed an indictment within 72 hours of my arrest. Now, let's get into this because I like to go at least about an hour and 45 minutes plus on these because I just don't stream here. I stream on a lot of different sites. I haven't worked my way to streaming to Instagram yet, but because I think Instagram is just for people that's trying to find clout, right? And I'm not really trying to get famous off of this. What I'm trying to do is get my life back. No right man, no husband in his right mind wants to be labeled a predatory or high-risk sex offender to his wife, and they constantly having sexual relations. I'm about to have my fourth child with my wife, And not one time have I been offered any treatment. What you want? What? You always want something. Dang. Here. They say you can't do this, they say you can't do that. Right? But in reality, you can fight for yourself. So my first phase of this, boast that effect that I'm talking about, is we do there's a show, and I recommend all y'all guys to watch it. It's called All Rise. It comes on Monday at 9 o'clock, right? So what we do is we go back into time, and where I'm going is to July 9th. July 9th, 2015. So we got to do what we got to do.
Yes.
We on record.
State versus call the case.
State
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. This is State
case.
versus Matthew Mayfield Johnson Jr.
Yes, it is.
14C 42686. Defense counsel Gail Ryder is present with the defendant who is out of custody.
Been out.
Hanson for the state. Your Honor, this is the time and date we had set up for a change of plea in this matter. It is my expectation the defendant will be entering no contest pleas to counts 1 and 2
No
of the
contest,
indictment.
please.
And we have a stipulated agreement.
No, we don't.
UCJ offer worksheets have been provided to counsel and the court. I can go over that at the appropriate time. I will say that this has taken extensive negotiations.
No, it has
I think
not.
This is a good resolution to this matter.
No, it
I think all
ain't.
parties are ready to proceed.
No, we're
Yes,
not.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I may approach, I have for the court a petition to enter pleas of no contest to counts 1 and 2.
How? What a
Executed by
dirty
Mr.
woman.
Johnson after review with counsel this morning.
How
together
much
with
did
a
they
notice of
pay her?
Suspension.
How much did
Mr.
they
Johnson,
pay
would you
Gail
go ahead
Ryder?
and stand up, please.
Listen to my voice in all of this.
Mr. Johnson, how are you this morning?
I did not want to
Mr.
take
Johnson,
the
I have
plea.
before me a plea petition. Did you go through that with your lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the things your lawyer has told you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you give
Oh,
up
I
your right to a
understand.
trial, all that will be left is for me to impose
This is
a
what y'all
sentence which
using?
is, in fact, a downward departure.
Oh, wow. From a mandatory
Has anyone made
sentence?
threats or promises to get you to do that today?
They asked me today, but yesterday, yes.
To
And
the
she would have
charge
said
of delivery
yesterday,
of
I would have said
oxycodone within
yes.
1,000 feet of a school as an 8B with a presumptive 35 to 40 months.
They
knowing that there's a
orchestrated this
downward
by
departure.
hanging my family
Happy
up against me.
No contest.
No contest.
And count 2, promoting prostitution as an 8B presumptive 35
Did I
to
say
40 months
stipulate no
with a
contest?
downward departure
No.
pursuant to agreement. How do you plead?
No contest.
Okay. Go ahead and have a seat, and what the state needs to do is fill in some facts for you.
Yeah, fill these facts
Your
in,
Honor.
buddy.
If this had gone to trial, the state
If.
would produce evidence that
It did.
on or about May 16th of 2014, at a location at the Shiloh Inn of 3304 Market Street, Northeast, room number 419,
No.
which is within Marion County. The defendant was in a hotel room with his wife, Jessica Johnson. There had been an agreement between Ms. Johnson and an undercover officer to engage in sex for money. The officers
Not
had arrested
me.
her. The defendant was in a closet, had come out.
See this?
And
On some
indicated
R.
that he
Kelly
was there.
shit,
The
right?
officers had talked with him. It was discovered through information provided by Ms. Johnson and the defendant after Miranda rights that
That's a lie. He lying.
he was there assisting her in the promotion of the
Listen to his
prostitution. She
deep
had indicated
breaths.
to officers that she shared the money and the proceeds of the prostitution with her husband.
It's a lie.
Defendant. Further inquiry on the cell phone of the defendant was found text messages that were consistent with that. Also text messages in regards to the oxycodone where he was trying to sell 50 pills of
What?
the oxy to a friend named Nick.
That's a lie.
For $200, and that was found on the defendant's cell phone. He indicated that.
Look at him, he lying.
Text messages were accurate. We still don't know who Nick is.
You don't know who Nick is, but you charge me with an A felony.
In that location, based on the fact that he still had the cash, the oxy pills were found in the room.
Is this
and his wife's
idiot
purse
stupid?
was a valid prescription for the defendant, but he of course can't sell those, and that's what he was attempting to do.
Pause. Right? You don't know who Nick is, but you charge me with an A felony. That's all I wanted to say.
So the totality of circumstances would show that he was actually delivering oxycodone on a constructive delivery.
What?
On or about that time.
How is it constructive? Why is it constructive? Is you charging the other
That would
person?
be sufficient for those pleas. In
No.
regards to being in 1,000 feet of a school, it was within 1,000 feet of Hoover Elementary School within this county.
Lie. Where's the report that proves that I wasn't?
Ms. Ryder,
Within
I
1,000
understand that
feet.
there's been an agreement.
Listen
between
to listen to my defense. Oh, we gotta break
At
this
time,
down.
Your Honor, we stipulate that if the state were to put on evidence without any evidence from the defense, that those are the facts that the state would be able to prove.
Now, did you hear what she just said? If Douglas Hanson was to put on all the illegal evidence without me putting on any evidence, then Douglas Hanson is telling the truth. That's the reason for the goddamn no contest, because y'all was not allowing me to put on no evidence. Y'all wasn't letting me show y'all that money that y'all took, that $1,200 and that $90 that y'all took from me was silver money given to me by Willie Merkel. Y'all even contact Willie Merkel and his whole attitude changed. He would never pick up no more cases. And you know what? For me, because Douglas Hanson and them already contacted them and said such and such was up here, that whatever he told them, he lied to him, right? And Willie Merkel lost trust in me. But the paperwork states that $1,290 that I had was from a car accident claim that I had got. These people really robbed me. They really did.
Yes.
Have kids.
I've heard a lot about this case.
Sufficient for those pleas. In regards to, based on the fact that he still had the cash, the oxy pill information provided by Ms. Johnson and the defendant after Miranda writes that he was there assisting her in the promotion of the prostitution. She had indicated to officers that
They
she
just
shared the
lying.
proceeds of the prostitution with her husband.
So what I want to do is go to the live me, right? And what I want to do is I must talk about the paperwork, because the paperwork is what counts to me. The paperwork. When we talk about Douglas Hanson, right? I have nothing but the truth on my side. I have nothing but the truth on my side. He knows that, and everybody else that goes along with him knows that too. So what we're going to do is get down into David Schietzler's, because this is the easiest place for me to go. And we're going to bring up this rule right here. I'm just going to bring this rule up and bring it to your attention, and bring it to the audience attention. This is why they don't like me. They try to say no internet. Your Honor, he's not supposed to be on the internet. He was on the internet, this, that, and the other. Right? It doesn't matter. I stayed to it. I stayed in tune. Because to me, they the ones that was out of pocket. Y'all can see that subsection 3 of Rule 505. This is why the prosecutor can't do what he doing. This is the reason why Douglas Hanson cannot do what he do. Now, it's taken me a long time. I'm so happy that God put me in a position to learn all these equipment. I was wondering how everybody else was doing it, how they were streaming, how they was doing all that. And I was like, if they can do it playing a video game, well, I can do it and expose the truth about what this man is doing. This man is talking about my wife in these court transcripts right here.
Which is the defendant, with his wife Jessica Johnson.
With his wife Jessica Johnson. Let's just see what the laws say about husband wife doing criminal proceedings. And I'm telling you, I'm almost 100% sure that Douglas Hanson thought that he was gonna get away with this. He told me that in the elevator. He had the audacity on this same day, July 9th, 2015, after prosecuting me, he got in the elevator with me. He got in the elevator with me. This is no lie. He got in the elevator with me and my friend Nicholas Peterson, who they said I sold the drugs to. He was in the elevator with me and Nicholas Peterson. And in my court audio transcripts, you will hear that Susan Tripp asks, Doug asks, "Sir, have you been writing emails to Gail Ryder? Are you Nick Peterson?" But they were saying that Nicholas Peterson was the one that I sold the drugs to, right? But we gonna hold on. That's a whole nother subject. But what I wanna focus on is this man's Douglas Hanson saying his wife Jessica.
Was in a hotel room with his wife Jessica Johnson.
His wife Jessica Johnson. So let's go over here and read this husband-wife privilege. Husband-wife privilege. Rule 505. Oregon Revised Statute. That's what the ORS is, right? In any criminal proceedings, neither the spouse during the marriage shall be exempt adversity against the other as to any other matter occurring during the marriage, unless the spouse is called as a witness consents to testify. Douglas Hanson screwed me over. He knew for a fact. He knew for a fact that I had him. I had him right where I wanted him. I was telling the truth. Another thing about this civil situation, right? And we just want to give you the facts here. I just want to give you the facts right here, right now. I know you continue to be upset because you did not get a preliminary hearing. Hold on. I know you continuously be upset because you didn't get a preliminary hearing. Pleading no contest to the drug charge does not mean that you cannot pursue a civil suit against Kerry Weiland if you do choose to, if you want to. Don't this sound like coercion? From my attorney, Gail Ryder. She's coercing me into taking a deal. Now let's go up here. Let's just look at these emails. We looking past. Let me see what else I got down here. That remind me. Hold on. Cause I got heat for him. I got heat for him. All day. All day. Throw your hands up. Normally I have this, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this section of Gail Ryder, because that's a whole nother. But what I want to give you is Douglas Hanson claimed that it was a massive negotiation. Oh, that's that same email. I don't want that email. And I'm telling you, what this man did to me, please. He tried to delete everything. He tried to go back and delete everything, even Gail Ryder's information. But the thing is, I had it. I had it all, and I can prove where it wasn't Gail Ryder talking to me. It was Douglas Hanson talking to me at times. Gail Ryder allowed Douglas Hanson to talk to me through her emails, through her very own emails. She allowed this man to get into her emails, and she allowed him to talk to me as if it was her. Can you say breaking attorney-client privilege? Right? They tried, even my attorney, Gail Ryder, she kept on saying the state have all this on you. The state have this on you. The state don't got nothing. The state ain't got shit but lies. The state has been lying. She knew Douglas. She knew she was dealing with a lying prosecutor from the jump. She knew that. But she still allowed him. So what I want to do is, I'm not just about this paperwork over here, right? I'm about putting it all on there, voicing it how it's supposed to be. What the hell is happening? Voicing it how it's supposed to be here, right? So what we do is, you hear, like I said, you hear this man, Douglas Hanson, a prosecutor, Gail Ryder, and Susan Tripp, they all in violation. Every last one of them, because of the law. The law states, first of all, Susan Tripp should have asked, let me get to them. Susan Tripp should have asked Douglas Hanson, where's his wife? Why isn't she in court? She also should have asked Gail Ryder, have you investigated your witness that you called as a witness? They both can't call my wife as a witness. My wife can't be potentially working for both sides. The way that they set this up was just against me, right? It was just flat out against me. Again, Douglas Hanson.
There had been an agreement between Ms. Johnson and an undercover officer.
Look, he's laughing, right? But look.
The officers had arrested Lynn of trial. The state would produce evidence that on or about May 16th of 2014, at a location at the Shiloh Inn of 3304 Market Street, Northeast, room number 419, which is within Marion County, the defendant was in a hotel room with his wife, Jessica Johnson.
With his wife, Jessica Johnson. Is that illegal? You don't know what happened prior to that. And this is something that I learned from disciplining my kids, is that if you only see what one of them do and you don't know what happened prior, then how can you discipline them both, right? And that's what my wife was explaining to me, because my older son, I really go a little bit extra tough on, because his little brothers look up to him. So we want him to actually behave correctly. But where's that video?
Like basic.
No, I didn't.
Mr. John?
So this is what I want to do. She said I heard her basic thoughts. So let me give you some of Susan Tripp's basic thoughts. Number 63. This is what clears me.
So at least there was evidence.
It was evidence.
That she was in Salem.
Yeah, that's it. That she was.
Yes, the 15th.
Yes.
And she indicated as such in that ad that she had placed.
So on the 15th, I wasn't there. You hear Susan Tripp asked Douglas Hanson why Gail Ryder should have been taking notes. I know if I'm an attorney representing the client and I see a slip up like this and I see that this is a trial judge and she's treating it like a bench trial. She's treating it like a bench trial. So when I tell you she's treating it like a bench trial, she's being an actual fact-finding judge. So she's trying to find out the facts. She's trying to ask Douglas Hanson, the evidence you put out there, this is her response to it.
So at least there was evidence.
It was evidence.
That she was in Salem.
Yeah, that's it. That she was.
Yes, the 15th.
Yes.
And she indicated as such
What?
in that ad that she had placed.
Right. But somehow I got charged for promoting that prostitution when I wasn't even in the county on that day. None of that. And they're not applying it by the law. And this is and another thing, and when we talk about this, is because we got it all. We got all the information. You've crossed jurisdictions with this. You sent this to the Department of Community Justice, the Multnomah County Department of Community Justice, and they couldn't deal with me. I just knew too much. I just knew too much. That makes me. Oh, I felt like Knowledge Broccoli right there. Let me take my. Right? Because sometimes you doubt with telling this. So what I want to do is come back to my live me paperwork, right? I want to come back here and we know this. Based on what you saw yesterday in court, I'm sure you now realize that you have a difficult task to get a no guilty verdict on promoting prostitution charge. A guilty verdict means you will go to prison for at least 40 months. I did get an affidavit from your wife. Hold on. What do the law say about rejecting an affidavit? But then y'all turned around and used that same affidavit that my wife put in, and y'all got it under what's called a declaration. Y'all just violating everything about the Constitution here. Y'all just stumbling and over it, but just breaking everything about it. Me or my wife have any state or federal rights. We don't have no rights. All we can do is sit down and shut up and just hopefully think and pray that they don't come and destroy our life like they really can. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if I ever come up missing, it's because of Douglas Hanson. Period, point blank. I don't have any enemies. I help people. I care for people. I've never ever sexually committed no kind of sexual heinous act towards any child. None. I'm not a peeping Tom. I don't watch illegal porno. None of that. I don't do none of that stuff. I have children. I'm very active involved in my children's life. Look, I got an affidavit from your wife. Oregon law does not allow an attorney to use an affidavit, but you claim that she was your witness. You claim that this woman, Jessica Johnson, was your witness. Let me get Gail Ryder's paperwork, because I don't want to be throwing no lies out there, right? I don't want to be no. We can't be doing that, because 2021, Matthew ain't telling no lies. We not. We giving you the cold-hearted facts. Gail Ryder sent a witness list. Let me find where your witness list at. Let me find your witness list, Gail Ryder, because this both of them, Douglas Hanson and Gail Ryder, can't send a witness list. They both sent the witness list to my wife. They say I'm nasty, and I really don't care. This is how I live. Don't ask me questions. I really don't mean to. I don't want that one. I want hers. Sorry, give me some time. Alright, I use these two. I use this one right here. Because I'm not going to waste your time right here. It's just contradicting. How would I minimize this down to where y'all can see it? Because we don't need the whole thing right here. Right? Let's dissect this, right? And plus I got actual legit papers. I'm just using the ones that I made notes on because I don't want to be digging and taking for hours to look through my paperwork, right? But this right here, it says law, Ryder Law Office, Gail M. Ryder, private counsel, attorney at law. Because the reason why she's on my case to begin with is because I busted Kerry Weiland for stealing away my preliminary hearing. So they give me all private attorneys. And you mean to tell me none of these private attorneys was willing to help me? That's crazy. But anyways, let's get to this. Where she said, I did get an affidavit from your wife, right? Oregon law does not allow an attorney to use an affidavit in trial. It is of no use to me. In fact, because it contradicts some of your wife's earlier statements to the police, it could actually hurt your case if I tried to use it, because it looked like she's now making up a new story to help you. They say I'm nasty, really don't care. This is how I live. Don't ask me questions. It's contradicting because she said, I stumbled on this because I was so trying to think about what was going on upstairs with my kids. But can you really look at the facts of this? If somewhere somebody got to be looking, and what I'm looking at is the timestamp, right? I'm looking at the date, July 6, 2015, July 1st, July 1st. She wrote this to me July 1st, this email supposedly at 6:57 a.m. early in the morning. She wasn't even thinking about washing her ass or waking up and like Folgers in your cup or nothing. She woke up. You mean to tell me this woman woke up and wrote this to me, right? But I'm just curious about this. And then if you wrote this to me July 1st, 2015, then I get this letter right here from you. Then I get this from you right here. I get this from you saying that you sent this July 6, 2015. But over here it's kind of contradicting because you said it contradicts some of your wife's earlier statements. So if that's the case, Gail Ryder, why would you then call her as a witness for me? Why would you tell Douglas Hanson, dear Mr. Hanson, pursuant to an Oregon revised statute, this is another penal code that Douglas Hanson is violating? Because when I go back and I look at the Douglas Hanson's paperwork where he subpoenaed my wife, let's look at that. Let's look at Douglas Hanson's subpoena. And I want to see okay. Look at this. Y'all, come on, man. How is they both calling my wife? Jessica Johnson is on the witness list, but she also being subpoenaed by the prosecutor. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God is awesome. Come on, somebody explain that to me. Somebody explain this to me. Look at the time, the date, and not only that, pay attention to what's going on in the emails. Pay attention to that too. But they said that I was going to trial, right, on July 14th and 15th. Douglas Hanson said, you are hereby commanded to appear. Breaking this. This is what he's doing. This is why Douglas Hanson used that. This is why Douglas Hanson used his subpoena power. And when we tell you that a prosecutor is using an office for personal gain, this is what I mean by that. When I tell you that, and he got Multnomah County Department of Community Justice involved with this because they the one that had to supervise this illegal shit, right? But what Douglas Hanson ain't telling them is this man know what I did to him. I'm not in my life, sorry. Let me see if this will work. I don't want to end it, but my sister might be